Hey, what's going on guys, TurtyWordy here, and welcome back to another Minecraft modding tutorial for version 1.16. In this tutorial, I'm going to be covering how we can go ahead and create a food. So, as it is just a normal item, we do need to go into our item init, and let's go down to right here and create a new field. So we will create a public static final registry object, and this will be our food item. So that will just be a normal item, and obviously we can use our custom class for this if we wanted to have a food with a special class, or we can also use a block item if we want an edible block item, but I'm just going to have it be a normal item. And I'm going to call this example underscore food, and that will be equal to items.register. So far it is the same as a normal item, and obviously example underscore food, it's a supplier of a new item, and then it's a new item dot properties, so it's still the same. And we still set the group, so that is tutorial mod.tutorial group. Now this is where we add the food. So in the advanced items tutorial, I briefly covered some of the properties that you can add for an item, and luckily food is actually one of those, which makes food extremely easy to do. So we just need to put dot food, and this takes in, I think, a new food dot builder, and just import food, and here you just do all the properties of the food. So we can say what effects it gives us. So for example, we can say that we need a supplier of a new effect instance. I did briefly cover this in my advanced items video, and in this effect instance there's a bunch of different overloads for it. However, I'm just going to use effect int, and this will just first be the effect, so that will be effects dot, and there's all these different effects, of course. I'm just going to make it give you speed, and then the second parameter is the duration, so this is in ticks. I'm going to give it you, that's not English, I'm going to make it give you 200. I'm going to give it to the player for 200 ticks, so that's what, 20 seconds. And then this is the amplifier, so speed 2 for 20 seconds. I'll actually just say 100 seconds. 100 ticks, so that's 5 seconds. Right? 5 seconds? Yeah, 5 seconds. So 200 was actually 10 seconds. I can't math, okay? And then this is just the probability of you getting this effect. So if you say 1.0f, there's a 100% chance you will get that effect. If you say 0.0f, you'll never get that effect. So I'm going to actually just put it right in the middle and say 0.5. Obviously you have to say f because it is a float, not f in the chat, just f. And then we can just add other properties after it. So let's say we go here, and it doesn't want to give me the other properties, but there are more. You will have to trust me with this. Wait, no, I am too many out. Okay, there we go, yeah. And then we can say it's fast to eat. So for example, dried kelp, I believe, is very fast to eat. I'm actually going to set that property. We can say, obviously, how much hunger it gives you. So this is an integer, and one would be half a hunger bar, 2 would be a full hunger bar. So I'm going to say that it just gives you 2. yeah, it's not going to be a great food. And then we can say if it's a meat, and if it's a meat, that means that dogs will be able to eat it. Mine's not going to be a meat, so I'm going to skip that one. And then we have the saturation, so how much saturation it will give you. If you say, I'm not entirely sure how saturation works, but I think if you say 1.0f, that's like 1 piece of saturation. I'm not really sure. I'm not too sure. You can check vanilla foods, of course. So I think they actually have a specific class for it. Yeah, they do. So okay. So 1.0f looks like it might actually be full saturation. 1.2. I'm not sure. This is saturation is a little weird. As you can see, golden apples and carrots give you 1.2. I'm just going to make this give you 0.1f of saturation, so not that great. Or maybe 0.2. And then we can say that you could say that it's always edible, so that means you can even eat it in creative. I'm actually going to do that. I mean, why not, right? And then we can just build it. In my personal opinion, every food should be edible in creative. I mean, why shouldn't it? I'm actually just going to add another effect here. So you'll see there's actually 2 effects here. There's one with a supplier and one without. And you may think, well, the one without is simpler. I mean, why not use that one instead? And the reason we do that is just to make sure that it's not null, because effects are registered around the same time as items, and it's possible that if a mod has like loads of effects or loads of items, that the effect may actually be null. So we always want to use a supplier to ensure that if it is null, we're not going to have, any issues with it. I'm just going to really quickly going to make this give you poison. Well, no, I'm going to make it give you no, poison. Poison's fine. And that will just be for like I'll say 60. So what's that? That's 3 seconds. So not that great. Probability, I'll say 0.05. So it's a low probability, just as example. And I mean, that's pretty much it for a food. You can obviously move this to your own class or your own actual field for it. So I'm actually going to do that. So what we can do is we can create a new class, and this is only if you have loads of foods. If you don't have loads of foods in your mod, it's not really worth doing this. But you can say like you have a class called, I'll just call it food init. We're not actually initializing foods, we're just creating fields for them. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. This can just be a public static final. What can we call this? This is actually going to be, I'll just call it an example food. Like that. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's a food. There we go. And that will allow us to just go into our item init and say food init dot example food. And that just makes that a lot shorter. We want to keep our init classes basically kind of as clean as we want, because if we have initialization errors, we want to be able to go through our init classes and just see, okay, this one's fine, this one isn't, so that's one that's wrong. We don't want to have to say, ooh, is this part of this one, or is that over here? Like, you want to be able to tell them apart, basically. So separating it out, I think, is always good. It's a personal thing, of course. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. We can now just go ahead and do the JSONs and the lang. That's the exact same as the normal items tutorial, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back with you when I've loaded up the game. Okay, so guys, as you can see, I'm now in the game, and if I go in my creative tab, we can see my food here. So that is a cherry, and if I do press Control H, you can see this is just Control H, F3 and H. You can see it is just my example food, and I named it cherry in the lang. And yeah, you can eat it in creative because we set that it's always edible. And we actually got speed from this, so that's nice. I didn't mean to drop those. And we shouldn't get that every single time though. Let's try and test this. We didn't set it to 1.0, did we? I seem to remember we only set it to 0.5 probability. Yeah, there we go. We just ate one and we didn't get it. And if we eat it loads of times, there you go. We actually got poison there. So that's very unlucky. Lucky but unlucky in this circumstance anyways. And obviously if we go into game mode survival, we can obviously eat it and it will give us hunger. I will just have to drain my hunger down a little bit for that. There we go. So now if I eat, you can see we get one thingy. We can't see saturation. I don't have the Apple Core mod thing that does that, so we can't see that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So I hope you guys did enjoy this tutorial. If you did, please do be sure to smash your face into that like button and subscribe. If you really enjoyed, please do be sure to share it, and hit that bell as well if you want to be notified when I next upload. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.